I didn't expect to see him come back. Certainly glad that he did, and he just kind of keeps doing things that are pretty amazing. And the whole time just staying grounded and humble and smiling and helping us win football games. You know, I don't. Well, we saw what we look like with Tanner, and we saw what we look like without him, and man, the dynamic changes pretty drastically. I thought it was a team win. Man, there was a lot of plays that had to be made, certainly by our quarterback. Ultimately, the run game on the last drive sealed the game, and so that was a real positive. There was a stretch in there where ECU was moving the ball, and we kept creating turnovers, which was a huge stretch in there, and we started to kind of separate. And then a few injuries. Micah Hanneman goes down in the secondary. We suspended 2 players for team discipline, both in the secondary before the game. And so guys were just out there battling, and they got an opportunity and played just well enough to help us win the game. And so great program win. I'm happy for our team. I'm happy for our coaches. We thought it was going to be a really tough game. We thought ECU was a good team and capable of scoring a lot and would play hard, and all those things are exactly what happened. So really, it's a good day to be a Cougar. I'll take questions if there are some. I'm sure there are.
The initial diagnosis on Tanner's injury?
I haven't heard. Just glad he came back. I know that I think it was a 4th down play when he was scrambling to slide is when the injury happened. You know, he stayed in for a few plays and kind of limping around, and we were just trying to not have him move in the pocket at all. And then it just kind of seized up, and you saw him come out. I didn't expect to see him back, but certainly glad that he did.
How much did it open with the offense, you know, for the rest of the offense, the fact that Tanner was able to pinpoint the ball and gets fast?
It's just unreal. I mean, he's the decisions he's making for a freshman are just exceptional, and the poise that he's displaying, and I just am very, very impressed. I thought Devon Blackman had a really nice game. He kind of emerged today and did some really nice things. And just right now, it's one of our strengths is throwing and catching the football. And we're protecting the quarterback pretty well. And again, after all that, when we had to, we drove the football on the ground, and that was really cool to see.
What was it like watching Algie take it in there under
Just,
25 seconds?
Man, relief first, I have to be honest, and then excitement. And then right away of, man, I hope we can knock down a pass because they were throwing and catching it. We knew going in, their tight end was exceptional. We knew that would be a matchup issue, and then had a couple receivers on the outside that we thought would be a real challenge, and it proved to be that way. And so the game wasn't over. We still had to knock down some passes and get out of the game. And so as the defensive coordinator had it goes on, and just I wasn't allowed to be too excited at the moment. It was just like, okay, good, now make sure we have 3 more plays to get off the field.
You went for it on 4th down twice in the first half in your own territory. Could you tell us about the thought process?
I thought this was going to be a close game. I thought it was going to be a tough game, and I think in those games they need to be managed aggressively. And so that's what we did. I had my mind made up going into the game. We were going to do that, and those opportunities presented themselves, and so luckily we executed.
So the punt fake was on. It wasn't a decision by Johnny.
So it was a read it call, which means if they aligned for it to happen, then we were going to do it, and they did. And that was a huge play.
Coach, your thoughts on Algie Brown's performance, the 4 touchdowns and the drive at the end?
Really, really impressed. And when you start now considering being able to run the ball effectively, in combination with Tanner, that's kind of been the spot and the piece with our injured running backs coming back that we've kind of been missing. And so we knew going in that Algie was more healthy than he was last week, and he performed really well. Francis Bernard was then going to kind of be the spell back for Algie, another big physical back, and it worked just right until Tanner went out, and then the plan is different at that point. Another true freshman that splits half the time with the scout team with us, and so there's a very limited package, and we've all known it's just going to take time to try to figure out how to get him enough reps and Tanner enough reps, and so we know what that looks like now, and Bo did a nice job managing what calls he had to manage, and he has a bright future. And yeah, that gave us all a great idea of just how important Tanner is to us.
They're switching quarterbacks right before half. Did that catch you off guard, and
No.
what impacted that?
We were, so it was, number 11 had been the quarterback that had been bringing them back in their other games. And so it's been really difficult for teams to prepare and play both quarterbacks really well. And so we actually had spent the majority of our game plan for number 10. I did not think he would be able to throw the ball as effectively and as consistently. And I think we helped him some with penalties and certainly some deep passes just on fades and different things. But most of our plan actually was for number 10. And so we were, whether it looked like it or not, we were actually more prepared for he than jersey number 11. And I was really happy that and relieved once number 11 left the game. But be careful what you wish for. Number 10 came in and we had to change tempos and a little bit shorthanded in the secondary, and then all of a sudden not all of a sudden, but we have a game again.
Tanner comes in on that last drive. Tell us how much you think you learned in that just drive only, how much he's grown, progressed, the game slowed down for him the last 4 weeks.
I think we all just saw it. I think the game was slowed down for him while he was in before, and I think the entire stadium knows that just by their response when he walked out there. I mean, it's hard if you don't stop for just a second and think, I mean, this is freshman season. It's kind of hard to imagine.
Was there any thought on the sideline or with the offense that they might allow you to score a touchdown so they'd have more time on the clock?
I'm not certain. Tough to say, and again, because they knew that we were running the ball and they were certainly trying to stop us. We were actually playing just to run it down and have the last play be a field goal. And to the credit of our offensive line, that doesn't mean we were trying to go down. We were trying to move the ball, but to the credit of our offensive line and Algie, they just made it even better and scored a touchdown.
Any diagnosis on Louis Lapuaho?
No, not yet. I haven't had any report. But I'll tell you, Coach McNeil for ECU is a class act. And he's kind, he's generous, he's positive, and he was looking after our player, which doesn't happen very much. And I'm very, very impressed with him as a person. And he has a fine program, and he's a really good man.
Did you get to say anything much to him after
Just
the
at
game?
the end, I just said, man, what a great team, and how hard they played, and the credit they deserve for fighting back the way they did. And then I went and talked to their quarterback, and they have skilled players, and they have a good program, and they've been in and out of the top 25 the past couple of years, and they score a lot of points. And he's responsible for that happening, that system, the type of players they're having, the way they play. And so I hope somewhere along the line he gets some credit for that, because I was very impressed just with how they played.
How much did that change in tempo affect the defense?
I can't say that it didn't affect us, but we practiced it over and over and over again, and I don't think the players, it didn't surprise us at all. It was just really the frustration of the number of balls they were catching, and our coverage was fairly tight sometimes, and then there were assignment mistakes at other times, and so, but sometimes that happens when you have different guys working together, and that's kind of what happened through the course of this game.
What was the mindset after they blocked the punt and scored the touchdown?
We're mad. It was just like, really, we're gonna start the game like this, and so certainly that made me be even more aggressive to get us back in the game. And we blocked one of our own, and finally, when it's 14-14, it seemed like a restart. Okay, it's like, all right, now let's see what the game looks like. All right, thanks.